What's going on, guys? Got another knife review here for you. Today we're going to be looking at the Microtech Whaleshark. This obviously is different from the production model, being that it's custom. This one is using the full beta titanium handles with titanium hardware, blued hardware, anodized, the blued titanium backspacer, and then Anthony Marfione's custom grind Whaleshark. So an absolutely just a beautiful blade. I am a total sucker when it comes to Marfione's blade grinds. I think they're just absolutely amazing. So I'm going to take this review in kind of two directions. We'll see how it goes, but I know I tend to just ramble on. One view is as a production model. I've never owned a production Whaleshark, so but I think I have a good enough idea, based on my experience with other Microtechs. And so, the typical Whaleshark is, going to have your G10, G10 handle scales, and then your subframe lock, titanium subframe lock, same pocket clip. It's going to have a size 30-bit Torx adjustable pivot head, and then normal stainless steel hardware. It does have a titanium backspacer as well, same style, the ones with these vents in here, and then it's going to have the lanyard loop here as well. You'll have the same blade stops, with the same kind of texturing and design, custom design that Microtech does. So really, really beautiful knife. This was actually a knife that I didn't like before. When the name came out, Whaleshark, one, I thought that was so weird, and when I looked at it, it did look like a whale. It looked like a humpback whale, with a fin, coming down this way, the curvature of the body, and then the eyeball, or I don't even know what the markings of a whale or a humpback whale. So it totally looked, you can see how it's, dive into the water or something like that. So sorry, that's kind of stupid. But, this is a knife that grew on me over time. A couple of my, knife friends like Biking Sean and Dave Skills, they, have these Whalesharks, and it just grew on me. And so when this custom came up for trade, I jumped on it. So luckily my friend just, agreed to trade with the knife that I was offering, and so so that's that. Ergonomics of this knife are phenomenal. So I'm assuming, again, for a production knife, it's going to be good, if not better. With the G10, maybe G10 gives a little bit more texture, feels a little bit better. Beauty wise, for me, titanium is always going to be better. You can see here the texturing on this titanium. So you can actually feel the texture on there. So it's not just hand rub or bead blasted finish, but there's actual texturing on here. And then this satin finished subframe lock. This clip on here, this is my biggest beef, for a custom. If it's production knife, I think it's totally fine. But even for the SOCOM Delta, this clip is titanium, both on the production and on the custom. For this one, I know for the production knife it's stainless steel, but on the custom knife, it's also steel, and that's a total bummer. This should be titanium on a knife, that's valued as high as it is. Come on, dude, this should totally be a titanium pocket clip. So outside of that, though, everything else is just amazing, brilliant. This blood groove fuller that Marfione does on pretty much most of his custom grinds is beautiful. This hand rub satin finish is also just beautiful. Just when you look at the contrast of this blade, how it reflects in the light and in the shadows. It's gorgeous. Even this beveling on the screw, on this pivot screw, is polished, and that's just attention to detail, which is pretty amazing. So on the Whaleshark, as well as I believe the SOCOM Elite and the Delta all have this as well. You know, the blade stops, when they close, you know, they all fall on this steel insert right here. So when the blade stops come up here, they actually sit on these blade stops. So not against the titanium, not like an Umnumzan where it sits on the titanium, not like a Strider where it sits on one side of titanium. You know, so that's kind of an oversight from these other companies, but I think Microtech does a great job of thinking about that. Even on the underside of the handles, there's steel insert right there, and then it's got the steel lock bar, lock face insert as well. So very thin piece, not overly like large like the Spyderco Domino or a bunch of these other companies that have these huge like steel inserts. Kind of takes away from the aesthetics of the knife. For this one, it's so small that it doesn't detract from the beauty of the knife. So again, when this closes in, that blade stop sits right there on that steel. So pretty ingenious. The one thing that I learned about Microtech, which is pretty cool, obviously they have the proprietary screws, which is annoying, but it's high end. You can see how they put in a lot of time into making their own hardware. For the pivots, they are cage bearings, in that nylon race, but they're actually ceramic bearings. So, ceramic bearings are obviously much more expensive and better quality. They spin faster. They have better shelf life, not shelf life, but just better life in general than steel bearings. Not going to rust and all those issues. So, just another thing that Microtech does that just adds value to their knives. So that's for all the productions, for the Custom Delta, I believe for the Elite, for this, did I say Custom Delta? Production Delta, they both use ceramic bearings and so incredibly smooth. These knives flip out effortlessly, and steel bearings do too, but it's just nice to know that you're getting ceramic bearings in the cost of these knives. So again, steel pocket clip, that's just that's just stupid. So anyway, quick comparison to these other knives. You can see the similarities in this select fire, the blade shape, kind of that broad wide blade. Here's the SJ75, and then same size blade, 3.625 inch blade in the Whaleshark and the Sebenza. But you can see again, in terms of how you would hold this knife, I'm trying to put these grips kind of in a neutral position, how you would naturally hold them, and you can see the negative angle that you get in this Whaleshark versus say the Sebenza, just kind of a straight edge blade style, even in the Tanto edge for this Delta. So that's kind of another cool feature that makes this, I mean, they're all highly usable, but that's kind of cool because it really sets the blade in position as you hold it. So pocket clip, other than the steel issue, some people might think that this is a very uncomfortable clip, being that it's somewhat pointy, and it looks from this angle that it actually sticks up quite a bit, but actually when you look at it from its side, from its profile, it doesn't come up that much. It's not as bad as Skelton says the DOC clip is, and the DOC clip looks terrible, but it's not as high. Even on the select fire, it's not quite as high. It is squared, and I think this clip is one of the ugliest clips out there, as well as the DOC. This clip on the Whaleshark is actually very comfortable. Fits well, no hot spots whatsoever. That point part of the clip doesn't get in the way at all of your hand. In reverse grip, contours fit perfectly for your index finger and your middle finger. So it sits right there, doesn't get in the way whatsoever. And then if you were to, for whatever reason, grab it down here, index finger sits right there in that little dip on the pocket clip. So works really well thumb rests right on that lanyard loop. Very comfortable on top of that backspacer. So just overall, a very ergonomic. The curves are perfectly placed on this knife. So absolutely beautiful knife. I'm in love with Anthony Marfione's work. His custom stuff is just genius. Those grooves, these grinds on these blades are amazing. So, you know, when you compare the custom Tanto or custom Delta to the production Delta, yeah, it's just crazy how much more beautiful these grinds are. So anyway, just wanted to throw that out there, kind of show you guys the custom Whaleshark. It's a phenomenal knife. I think as a production knife, it's also going to be awesome. I'm on the lookout for a CTS 204P version, maybe one of the first version Whalesharks out there. If any of you guys have them, I'd definitely be interested. So yeah, anyway, fantastic knife from Anthony Marfione. Thanks guys for watching. Leave your comments down below. Let me know what you guys think. And I will see you guys on the next vid. Take care. Bye.